tell us how a nice young man like yourself started punching people into the face for a living.
Man, Jake Shields was the guy who got me into it. I've always been a guy who likes to wrestle my friends. I wasn't a bully or nothing, but I wrestle my friends. We'd box each other, and I liked wrestling and all that stuff. But Jake pulled me in one day. He told me, oh, I fight cage fights. I'm like, buddy, I've seen every UFC so far, and I haven't seen you in any of them. I said, no, man, there's things called King of the Cage, Gladiator Challenge, and then I didn't believe him. I said, prove it, and he whooped me up, and then next thing you know, I was a disciple of Jake Shields, training for the Cesar Gracie fight team, and punching people in the face.
Do you tell Jake these days you still haven't seen him in the UFC?
Yeah, these days I do say it, but I heard GSP called him out, so who knows, man? We might be seeing something happen soon.
And you've got a fight coming up December 19th on Showtime. You will attempt to unify the Strikeforce lightweight titles against Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson's noted as the Punk. That's his nickname. He's got that little hairstyle where he dyes his hair a little bit. We're going to see Gilbert Melendez dye his hair anytime soon?
I don't think you'll be seeing it, man. I'm trying to maintain this, the curls going on here, trying to maintain that. But, and I got a natural Mexican tan here, Latin tan, so it looks pretty good. And, I don't plan on dyeing my hair anytime soon. But,
do you ever miss your fro?
Yeah, sometimes I do miss my fro, sometimes I don't. But, I'm a little more mature now, and I like to trim it down and, keep it out of the face.
If you could change one thing about Josh Thompson, what would you change?
Oh, man, he has this smile every time he's fighting, or this look on his face, and it's, it's kind of bothers me sometimes, But other than that, man, I got nothing wrong. No beef with the guy.
And you fought in Japan in Pride and in Shudo, and had great careers over there in the land of the rising sun. Can you talk about California sushi? We're known for sushi out here in California versus Japanese sushi.
Oh man, West Side, California, the best sushi out here. I was in Japan. I was lost. I was looking for sushi. They do not have the dragon roll. They do not have the California roll, and they do not have the caterpillar roll. And those are some of the stuff I like. But yeah, Japanese food is not for me. Japan wasn't the best, and food-wise. But yeah, California sushi, the best.
Tell us one thing about Nick Diaz that fans don't know.
Well, Nick Diaz is actually a really cool guy. He is for real. He is for real. He is what he is, and there ain't no joke about it. There's no front or anything. But yeah, man, when he loosens up and everything, he's a real cool, mellow guy.
And same thing about Jake Shields.
Jake Shields, man, there ain't no secret about him. Everything about him is you see, man. He's a ladies' man. He looks good. He likes to fight. But he's also one of those guys that's real kind and a real good friend and a big bully.
So you guys used to be roommates. You don't have any embarrassing Jake Shields roommate stories on the record?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Some of those, I live with two Dan Marks and Jake Shields. Those are some dirty white boys, man. I'm glad to be having my own dishes and everything now, but I got some stories, but better not. And
you're living out here in San Francisco, but you're actually from Southern California originally. So what's the weirdest thing you've seen in San Francisco since moving here?
Man, I've seen some weird stuff. There's some weird people out here. I've seen people, taking craps on the street. But one of the funniest things I've seen in the Tenderloin was I was driving to practice one time to Fairtex, and and I saw this guy walking across the street. He was just talking, and I was like, "Who's this guy talking to you?" And he turned around and looked at me, and he had this giant pet rat as a friend. It must have been a street rat with a tail like this long, and it was the grossest thing I saw, and I was like, ew. And the car next to me was laughing at me, too, because he saw the same thing.
Oakland Raiders or LA Raiders?
Man, I used to say LA Raiders, and I kind of disowned the Raiders for a while when they moved to Oakland. But who am I to say? I'm from Southern Cali, and I moved up to the Bay. So, yeah, man, Southern Cali needs a team, man. We can move him to LA.
Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulators, or Ludacris and Nate Dogg, area codes?
Oh, dude, Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulators. Down up.
Most embarrassing song on your iPod?
I don't know, man. Probably one of these high-paced techno songs or something like that. I don't know.
Sandstorm, maybe?
Yeah, Sandstorm.
If you weren't a fighter, what would you be doing for a living?
I'd like to think I'd be, with a college degree and maybe coaching some wrestling and teaching at a local high school and having my summers off.
What's more gangster, 40 ounces or giving back to your community?
Man, more gangster? I say giving back to your community, man. That's way more gangster. Stepping it up.
Fill in the blank. Best part of being Mexican is?
Best part of being Mexican is having good cardio.
If you could speak to any fighter that doesn't speak English fluently, who would you speak to?
I'd like to speak to Vanderlei Silva, man. You know, I want to see what the axe murderer has to say.
After December 19th, what's the first thing you're going to eat?
First thing I'll probably eat is a crepe off of 11th in Harrison, between Harrison and Folsom in San Francisco. Best crepe place you'll ever have.